Welcome to Brownie Bites here on YouTube as we recap day one of Browns training camp, which is in the books. Obviously, the number one storyline that everyone is going to be following in this camp is, of course, the quarterbacks. And, well, we got to see the first rotation. Kevin Stefanski, much like he did during OTAs and minicamp, in some of the individual periods there, he split the quarterbacks, the veterans on one field, the rookies on another. But then when it came to true 11 on 11, drum roll please, your first true 11 on 11 rep of training camp went to, that's right, Kenny Pickett, much like it did during mandatory minicamp. Dylan Gabriel was quarterback number 2, and Shedeur Sanders got the third reps. We did not see Joe Flacco in team 11 on 11, again, the true team 11 on 11 and not just a simulated period. Here's the Browns head coach on that quarterback rotation and how he plans on handling it throughout camp.
Yeah, I think with all things depth chart, certainly quarterback, I have a plan that's in pencil, and you know, we have to take in information every single day, take in how guys are handling certain situations, and then adjust from there. But we'll get to those type of decisions later on. Listen, I think the big thing for me is putting our guys in position where we can evaluate them. I think they did a great job in the spring, all 4 of those guys. We'll continue to put them in some situations, but ultimately we'd love to make a decision sooner than later. We'll continue to roll guys in there this week. We got 4 days before an off day, so I'll take a look at how we do it this week, and then we'll huddle up. I think our off day's on Sunday this week. We'll huddle up on Sunday and decide how we want to handle next week. We'll do that for a few periods this week. Today we'll have one period like that. You know, with anything, there's cost to everything you do, so you can't have 40 plays on either field because that's going to have cost to the rest of your players. So being very intentional about what we ask our guys to do, because we're trying to get, it's not just about one position, we're trying to get all of these guys ready to play. Are you asking for permission to look? Yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys. I give you permission to make what you want of it.
Does it matter who's taking the first team rep today?
Yeah, I think you'll see at a bunch of different positions we will work guys in different areas. So I know it will get reported on who's in there first, and it may change. It will change tomorrow. So I'd caution you to read too much into it until we get much later on in the process. I have opportunity to talk to Tommy Reese, Bill Musgrave, our coaches, just in how we want to outline this. We've had an entire off-season program with our guys, so what I try to do is have a plan for this first block of 4 days, have a plan for the next block, but we are ready to adjust as necessary throughout this thing. And then ultimately, we want to make the best decision for the football team, but we also want to gather information so that I can make that decision.
Rookie running back Quinshon Judkins is not with the team. He remains unsigned as he continues to deal with his legal issues down in Florida. It is a matter that Stefanski maintains he, as well as the organization, take very, very seriously.
I don't have much to add. These are things that we take very, very, very seriously. We're gathering information. I know you guys will talk to Andrew tomorrow, but I don't have much to add on that situation. But I would tell you, again, this is something I take very seriously. We take very seriously. It's not something that we want to be a part of. We want to be shining the light on the good things that our guys are doing in this community. Having said that, I do know we go, the league mandates a certain amount of education in all areas, certainly in this area, and we decide to go above and beyond that, and we will continue to do that. And if there's more ways that we can reach players in any area of education, we'll continue to look at that. I can only tell you that you're right in that with messaging, you have to make messaging sticky. You have to make ways for guys to understand where you're coming from. So I give a lot of credit to Ron Brewer and our player programs group that changes up the programming, if you will, in terms of how you reach players. It's something that we, again, we take the allegations here very, very, very seriously. And I also want to make sure that we're doing everything in our power from a coaching staff position, from everybody in our building, that we're educating our guys in a bunch of different areas. But that's something that we will always look at, ways to reach our guys. That's eternal.
Prior to practice, we also heard from Myles Garrett, who laid out his expectations. Of course, Garrett told everyone and anyone during the offseason, at least during Super Bowl week, how much he wanted out of Cleveland, how badly he wanted out of Cleveland, because he felt the Browns were pretty far away as far as being true contenders. However, $40 million a year later, he sung a very different tune Wednesday afternoon.
Expectations are higher than ever. Expect to bounce back from last year, myself and defensively and as a team. So the standard doesn't change, or at least it doesn't lower. It just raises and improves. I think we have guys who are older, understand both sides of the coin. Come from a really good season, come from a really bad season. They can happen just like that. So you've got to take that into account every single day when you're training and getting to know your guys. The margins for this game are very thin. I expect to get to the Super Bowl. That's our expectation every year. And I expect to run back the Defensive Player of the Year. So, keeping both of those things in mind, I have to be the very best player I can be every single day, whether we're practicing or playing. As soon as I step foot in the building, I have to be the best version of myself and the best leader I can possibly. We expect to raise the bar again. It's hard to stay at the very top as far as defensively, and we have to come in and understand that last year is gone. You can't expect for teams not to adjust or to just things to roll over and teams to fear us, especially not after 1 year. You have to prove that year in and year out that you'll be the same person or come back better each and every time you step on the field. And I think guys really have come to understand that now after a down year from us defensively last year. It needs to be focused and intense. Needs to be intentional every time you step foot on the field, every time you walk into the classroom. You got to know exactly what you're doing and know how you can improve and improve the man next to you. The fact that we came off such a down year and guys weren't satisfied. Guys were really disappointed because they knew what we had in the locker room, how within ourselves, and it wouldn't be a letdown if this was the expectation. But it is because we know we have far more in the tank. We have a great core unit, a lot of young guys, and there's a lot of juice to squeeze. So we're going to continue to try to find the best ways to put guys in position to make plays for us, whether it's offense or defense and even special teams. And I think we'll really be able to turn the page this year coming up. Don't take things for granted. It's never going to be easy. No matter in what position you play, what your record is, what your record was. Any given Sunday, both teams have a chance. So you've got to come out and be that same player every time you step foot on the field. You can't have a slow step. You can't forget your assignment. All those things that feel like minute details or just one bad step that can lead to a big play, a touchdown, whatever it is. That's how those things accumulate. And you end up where we were at last year. You got to channel it. I have such high expectations for the team because I have such high expectations for myself. The team's going to go as I go. I'm going to try to be the driving factor behind that and create a standard in which everyone has to chase every single day. Well, he's been my brother since he stepped foot on this facility grounds, and he's always had my back, and it's always been vice versa. So, and I appreciate him standing by me through everything. But he's been a leader. He's been a leader in that DB room, and I just continue to try to elevate his voice and make him heard throughout the whole team. And I think he is, but can't have anyone feeling like they can't be that leader for the entire team. And I feel like just empowering him and other leaders across the team, other players across the team to make their voices heard, leading by example, but also leading with their voice. That'll create a even more powerful environment where you can really grow and then improve. I'll say MJ. MJ for sure. I think he knows that he didn't have the year that he wanted to last year, and he had a great year before that, and he wants to continue to improve. He wants to prove that he's the guy in that room, and that should always be the mindset. No matter who's in your room, whether it's me, whether it's Denzel, you're out to show that you're the very best. Whether it's on your team or across the league. I want to see him achieve those goals for himself. Grant get back to playing at that Pro Bowl level. I want to see those linebackers step up, especially the young ones. I think DB has a lot to prove, Special has a lot to prove, and who's going to be at the end next to me. And I think a lot of guys are really taking hold of that challenge. Jock has made it very, very clear that it's up for grabs. So when you look at it like that, you've got to attack every single day. You can't let off the gas for even one play. That's got nothing to do with me. That's all up to Kevin. And whoever he decides is the best fit for what we're trying to do offensively. Game one, we're gonna rock beside, and I think all of these guys are very capable, and we have confidence, all of them. But the final decision's on Kevin, and we'll roll with that.
Left guard Joe Bitonio enters season number 12 for him, the final year of his contract. Obviously, everyone wondering if he is, in fact, going to hang them up at the end of the season.
Really every NFL team goes into training camp, knowing they have a chance. Like we have a majority of our team back from 2 years ago when we went, 11-6 and made the playoffs and made a run. We do know we have to play better and we have to improve and do some things right. But I think the mentality of the team and the work we're going to try and do gives us that optimism. Because we played very bad last year. We were, disappointing. I think everybody was disappointed. I went 0-16, 1-15, 3-13. And I feel like that was probably my most disappointed year, just with what we had done the year before and the players we had. So it was very frustrating. So I understand why the outside world wants to write us off, because it makes sense on from what you're looking at the year before. Yeah, it's fine. We're going to try and not look at the noise. I think we're going to try and work, and I think guys have chips on their shoulder, and everybody's motivated differently. But I think there's a positive motivation for our guys. It's a big thing. I mean, the starting quarterback in the NFL is probably the most important position. So I know they're going to have a good battle. I know the guys are ready to work, and it's going to be a good competition. So I'll look forward to it whenever it's announced. It's 4 quarterbacks that everybody's trying to compete and play, and it's a big number of guys with limited reps. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Luckily, you have a guy like Joe that has some experience and has some playing time, and Kenny's played a lot. I think it's just going to be whoever's most comfortable in the system and can make throws. I think all of them are talented, and all of them have that ability to be a starting quarterback in this league. Maybe not today, but in the future. So it'll be a good competition. Yeah, it's O-lineman's dream offense in that sense. Like hey, we're going to run the ball, we're going to play action. We're going to take our shots when they're there. Quick passing game, but it's something we have to make happen. Like, it's great to say, but if the running game's not working, if you're not converting those runs and the play action, all that stuff, it turns into a drop back game. Like, no matter what you say, if you're down by 2 touchdowns early, you're going to start dropping back. So it's something that we have to make come true, but we are excited with the foundation. Not too much. I'm really trying to live in the moment and just, one practice, one meeting, everything at a time. There'll be time, when it's over, to think about that stuff.
And there you have it. That's our first Brownie Bites of Training Camp 2025. We'll try and bring these to you here on YouTube each and every day following Browns camp. From Berea, Daryl Ryder, 92.3 The Fan.